Good morning, everybody. This is Martin John, and we are here to talk about the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching is an ancient text written in the 6th century BC, and it helps us live a more reasonable life. It's all sorts of enigmatic wisdom and not really advice, really. It's not advice. It doesn't tell you what to do. It tells you sort of how to process something, how to think about a thing, how to approach maybe a problem or approach something that you are having to deal with at the moment. So what we do here on Tao of the Day is look at it kind of like an oracle deck. So if you've ever been gotten your cards read or ever picked an oracle card. I've had a lot of experiences like this where, someone just has a deck and there's a bunch of animals on it or whatever. And then you pick a card and, you get the turkey vulture and there's all of this information about the turkey vulture, but it's symbolic. Right? It's symbolic about like, this is a way that you can approach something that is taking up a lot of space in your life right now. And that's sort of what I do here on Tao of the Day. What I do is I invite you up and I ask, how are you doing? What's going on in your life right now? And then I ask you to pick a number between 1 and 81 because there are 81 chapters in the Tao Te Ching. Elise, how are you?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Have you heard this show before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're familiar with what we do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How are you doing? What's going on? Did you want to pick a number today? I can't hear you now. I don't know what's going on. Maybe you accidentally joined. I'm not sure. So what I do is, you've heard this before, so I'm just going to repeat it and give you a little time. Maybe something happened to your mic. Maybe it unplugged or something. I don't know. Maybe you just don't want to be. Maybe this was an accident. And if it was an accident, I can take you off. Oh, you just dropped off. Well, Elise, if you ever wanted to come back and chat, be my guest. We're going to move on to Laura. Mark, I just saw you come in. We'll get to you as soon as we're done with Laura, if you have the time to hang out. I know it's real early where you are. Hey, Laura, how are you?
Morning, Martin John. Doing good.
Good.
At a store buying some Christmas decorations, not for my house, but for a friend helping out. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's early to be shopping for Christmas decorations, but
Early in the day or early in the
early
month?
in the day. It's like at best, like if you're on the East Coast, right? You're 7:00.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like an early hour to be going out and buying Christmas.
I went and done my workout.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then I offered to help. The coach has this gym and he's trying to put up the Christmas tree, but I know he's so busy. And so I offered to help because he was looking for some Christmas decorations and saying that he was going to go buy. And I said, if you want, I can go buy it. He said, yeah, that would help me a lot. So if I can help my friends, why not?
Absolutely. Well, that's wonderful. Well, let's unless you want to share other things, let's pick a number because that's a really nice baseline to start with.
Let's try 40. No.
Whoa.
Let's do 47.
47 is engaging with manifestation. So that's what, like engaging with the surroundings, engaging with, your friends, the places, the things. And it says, you can understand all things touched by Tao without leaving your room. You can see all things touched by Tao without opening your eyes. The more you trust the manifestation, the less you trust yourself. Thus, the master never engages the manifestation without first having engaged herself. In so doing, she achieves everything without having considered it. You know how connected that is to your, like, I see it really clearly. It's like you start your day and you exercised and you start your day and you're mindful and you're being yourself. You see where you can be helpful and you just, for lack of a better term, fall into it. You don't decide to help, you just do it.
Yeah.
And you've engaged yourself first, and then you become helpful. And what it says here, in so doing, because you engaged yourself, you never engage the manifestation without first having engaged yourself. And because you do that, you achieve everything without even having considered it. Everything gets achieved, but you didn't set out today to achieve this.
Right.
You just went with your intuition. You just went with your inspiration. Yep. And here you are in a store at 7:00 getting Christmas decorations for your coach or your gym. And you're going to be contributing to people feeling good in that gym for the next month. Just by doing this thing, which is going to take you 30 minutes to an hour.
I'm fast. I make my decisions fast now because I'm back on my ADD meds since yesterday. So I have such clarity of mind and such razor sharp focus. I'm like, wow, is this how it's supposed to be? Like, not normal, but like common normal, Wow. Is this how your brain's supposed to work? When you don't have to push yourself to do everything? Anyway, I'm grateful.
Right, and you get everything done anyway.
I had to because I didn't have accommodations and modifications and an IEP and, support for my ADD. So I had to push myself and compensate. So now with the medicine on top of life experience and everything else I had to deal without it, it's like this feels like a gift. Like, oh my gosh, finally.
Yeah. But it all starts with first engaging yourself. I mean, you don't avoid the manifestation, but you have to be centered within yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, or if you're not being kind to yourself, or if you're lost in your story, you won't be able to be open to receive the information that's coming in.
That's right. I heard something interesting yesterday. I see a connection between what you're saying and what I connected with. I heard somebody saying yesterday, it was a coach on Vibe, and he said, your purpose, you don't choose your purpose, is given to you. Do you see the connection with what you read and this, or no?
Oh, yeah. Yeah? Yeah, no, yes, absolutely. Because, I talk about purpose too, and I always say, if you know your purpose, you're wrong. Because it's like, you have to be, your purpose is going to just unfold, not be defined. Defining your purpose closes you off. Like having your purpose unfold, and when you're on your deathbed, you look back and you say, oh, that's what nice. I did. You know what I mean? You look back and you're like, hell, I lived Honestly, this life.
I never thought of it like that, but it makes sense now.
Yeah, because, if you know your purpose, what happens if you achieve it?
Yeah, good question.
Do you just jump off a building then? You just say, oh, I've done it. Right. So now it continues to unfold. So defining your purpose, defining your purpose closes you off to your potential.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah. And I think this is why it's like you can understand all things touched by Tao without leaving your room, because all of that is manifestation. But if you just open yourself up to all of the possibility, then you don't have to leave your room. You will. And when you do leave your room, you will be able to understand those things that you come in contact with more deeply, because you understand yourself as Tao.
Wow.
You know, and what it says here, the more you trust the manifestation, the less you trust yourself. And what that means is the manifestation is the physical purpose that maybe you have. Like, my purpose is to help people. Well, that's a nice sentiment, right? But that's you trusting the manifestation. You looking like, I helped you carry something, or I helped you be smarter, or I helped you do something. But it's like, you may tell somebody something that hurts them, and that could be very, very helpful for them, but you didn't intend to be helpful.
Right. It's like I just be myself, and just follow my inspiration, and whatever comes out of that,
far out.
That's not up to me. Just somebody might connect with what I say, but I'm not going out there to, hey, this is my purpose and I'm doing this TikTok because I have a purpose and I want to help people. No, it's just, I'm just putting out there what I'm thinking that I want to put out there.
That's
and whoever connects with it, that's whatever happens. And if people connect with it, great. If not, I'll still put it out there because that's what I have in me to give out.
And that's at the core of that sentiment is why I'd say everything is stupid. Because if everything is if everything is stupid, then you it's not that you do nothing because it's stupid. You do what you do, but you don't think that it's anything special. You just do it. You put it out on TikTok, you speak about it, you say it, you write it, you make it, you paint it, you sculpt it, you fix it, you do whatever you do. It's all stupid. You don't have to talk about it to anybody. You just quietly go about your business. You don't have to have any expectations of getting any praise or any profit or anything from this.
I like
you just do what you do because it's all stupid anyway.
I like that.
And you love what you like. I love this show. I love making artwork. I love all of these things in my life, and they're all stupid. But I do them anyway.
The stupid part is hard to explain to other people, but I'm starting to understand it.
Yeah, it's tough because it's like it's really saying, well, this is dismissive. It is. It absolutely is. Your amazing book that sold millions and millions of copies, stupid. It's stupid. And if you think it's special, like it's good that you wrote it, it's good that people read it, but it's stupid. And if you think it's special, then you start thinking you're special because of this. But you were special way before this. You were special when you were born, and you're special now, and all of that. And just like everything else, it's all stupid. And it's like it just tries to take away all of this hierarchy measurement bullshit that we have in our lives, where it's like, oh, this job is better than this job, and this salary is better than this salary, and this state is better than this state, and this house is better than this house. And it's like, no, it's all the same.
Yeah, I guess if we don't like what we do,
right,
all the amount of money in the world, it's like it's too difficult. It's like dragging feet all day long.
There's nothing to be gained. It's like life is the thing that you live. There's nothing to be gained. You just and we look at Tao, right? And we look at Tao because looking at this, like as we incorporate these concepts and ideas, life just becomes easier. It becomes less traumatic. It becomes less difficult for us to get from point A to point B. We can just be here.
Yeah, I wish I knew that a long time ago.
No.
But better later than never.
Yeah. You get what you need when you're ready to receive it.
Really?
You know, this book has been around for 3,000 years. It's come.
Right.
You have passed it in libraries and bookstores and all of that, and you were not ready for it. And because you weren't ready for it, it didn't present itself. Then all of a sudden, it presented itself in a way that you were open to receive.
Got you.
You know, because if you had this information sooner, you might have shunned it. You might have been like, "No, that's stupid."
I know what you're talking about.
And then if you saw my show, you might have just been like, "Oh, well, that's Tao. I know that doesn't make any sense for me, and so I'm not going to listen." You never know. But this is perfect. And you have it now, and now everything can open up to you.
If I'm opening up to it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's not easy to hear this text. And
that part about stupid is the hardest, but I'll work on it. I'll work on understanding it.
Yeah, no, I think you're already understanding it.
Yeah. I'm trying.
All right, I'm gonna let you get a move on and get your stuff back. It sounds like you're moving along.
Listening though, trying to focus 100% on what you're saying.
Yeah, I understand.
I felt like I needed it, so
I'm glad. Yeah. Well, again, I'll send you this text when I'm all done and when I get an opportunity.
Awesome. That'll give me a chance to.
Yeah, look at it a little bit further. Yeah, it's always good to read it because then you see it in front of you. Listening is hard because one thing will pop out, your mind will wander, all sorts of stuff, and I understand that.
Right.
Yeah, but I'll send this and you can check it out.
I appreciate that because I always go back and try to break it down and think about every part, and that helps.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, Laura, I love you. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we're going to be Mark up, and then Melissa is in line. Melissa, hopefully can hang out for a bit while I chat with Mark. Good morning, Mark. How are you, man?
It's kind of a rough day.
Oh. Well, what's going on?
Yeah, sorry, that was yesterday. It's today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, today's not very old yet. I mean, it's 4:18 where you are right now?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to travel today, so I got up early. Yeah, I was going to say, one, your hourly rate's too high, and two,
well, my hourly rate is like you're getting an hourly rate that's 50% lower than what I charge. Like you're still getting a pretty big discount.
Yeah, but you must charge it to rich people. No poor person can afford that.
No, that's right. I have a sliding scale, and you're on it.
Okay, my income last year was like $18,000.
Okay, well that's not like I don't know why you're coming on talking about that right now, but we're having a conversation.
Well, everything's stupid, so we can talk about anything, correct?
It's true.
So I got a random number generator, and it came up with a number, but we can do it again, and it'll come up with another number between 1 to 81.
Yeah, whatever you need.
36 came up, so
36. Going about your business. That's
a pretty good one for me today. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
If you want to take a deep breath, you must first empty your lungs. If you want to make something weak, then observe it first as powerful. If you want something destroyed, then see it first glorified. Identify your rigid desires. Meet them with flexibility. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overtakes the fast. Just quietly go about your business, and the results will speak for themselves.
That's it?
That's it.
That's fantastic. Can I do another one real quick, and then I'll jump off?
Sure.
the random number came up. You just go into a spreadsheet and you say rand between 1 and 81, and it just gives you random numbers.
I have a random number generator on my website.
Okay. It's 48, and I really appreciate you. Thanks again for doing what you do.
Absolutely. So 48 is the more you know, and I'll send you both of these. 48, the more you know. Pursuing knowledge you accumulate daily, turning your true nature into a commodity. Pursuing Tao, you unburden daily, allowing your true nature to guide you. The master unburdens herself again and again, diminishing, releasing, and deprogramming, until finally there is nothing left to be. When there is nothing to be, there is nothing to do, and everything gets accomplished regardless. Okay, Mark, I'm going to send you those two, and and we're going to talk on the 17th, so we can talk about all of that kind of stuff when we get there. But yeah, my hourly is very high. Hey, Melissa, how are you?
I am well, Martin. John, how are you?
I'm great. I'm doing good.
So I really liked what you just said to him when everything, and I'm thinking, I'm trying to paraphrase because I don't remember the exact words, but when you let everything be, then everything just kind of falls into place for you. And I had that day yesterday.
Oh, beautiful.
Because as you know, I was a bit concerned about the 2 observations from the State Department, but it's true when I let myself be the silly Melissa that I am and had fun with the kiddos, I looked around and the people observing me were smiling, and I'm like, yes, not that I needed their smiles, but but
we do. We need the pat on the back. We are living in a society where that is so important. It is. And we've been raised with this reward punishment. Now, getting over that is great, but there's always residue, and it does feel good.
Not just that, but the kiddos. Like, we did this, reader's theater script with them, and I had borrowed a snake because it mentioned a snake in there. And when the guy was like twirling the snake around, the kids loved it, and I knew that they would. So just making learning fun and engaging, and that's why I'm in that position. Like you said, there's not, not that I'm saying that that's my purpose, but that's, the role that they have me filling at this point in time. And, the fact that just letting that be, and before the first observation, I just did some deep breathing, and I'm like, it's going to be what it's going to be, and I'm going to be fine. And, just so letting things be is so true, and not, because, I struggle with those expectations, and not getting caught up in that. It's very freeing.
Yeah, that's good.
But I do have to say, I am so tired, Martin, John. I feel like I could be, I want to be a bear and just, hibernate for, a week and just catch up on some sleep, because I just feel like I've just been going and going and going and going. But I do have a number.
Shoot.
How about 81?
Oh, going all the way to the end. Wonderful. This one's entitled Blossoming Leader.
Wow.
So I want to, before we get to this, I want to just say, your tiredness, make sure you're drinking water, but also, you've put yourself through the ringer over the last month and a half or so.
Whew, you're right.
And you are literally changing the way you see the world.
It seems like the world's changing in front of me, Martin John.
It's not changing. It's the same world. You have changed.
It's me, huh?
It's the way you're perceiving the world that has changed. All of this has been going on this whole time. But you've been closed off. I just made it so damn hard. Right. Life is easy. I keep telling people.
I know, you keep telling me that. I know. You too.
Okay. So, blossoming leader. True words may not sound comforting, yet comfort those they are meant for. However, comforting words are never true. Connected to source, there is no desire to prove. Desire to prove only exposes separation from source. The master's possessions are not part of the manifestation. She gives away her possessions and only receives more. Tao blesses everyone in this way. When this blessing can be received, domination and power will yield, while all people will blossom as leaders.
Wow, that was what we were just talking about, the domination and the power.
And you know, yeah. And you know, when this starts, true words may not sound comforting, yet comfort those they are meant for. However, comforting words are never true.
Yeah,
you know, this
explain
idea
that part to me, because that was a bit, I mean, my mind kept going back to that, because it was like, comforting words are never true. Tell me more about that.
So, if I'm going to say something to make you feel better, what's important is not what I'm saying, it's you feeling better.
Gotcha.
So it's not true. If I'm honest with you, right, then you may not feel good receiving it, but it's going to be comforting because you're going to know truth. Someone's going to be finally honest with you. True words may not sound comforting. So if I'm overhearing a conversation between two people that are having an honest conversation, I might be like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that to her. And it's just like, well, it was true. It's like, yeah, but how did you say that to her? How can you say that? Those words were like, you know, if I said something and it's like, oh, but her mother just died. And like, how can you say that to her and it's like, well, they were true. And in the person who received it is just like, yes, I understand that that's true. It's hard to hear, but in the end, it's going to be comforting. I'm going to know truth. You know, when you and I spoke a couple times, like there have been times when I've said true things that you did not want to hear. And
sometimes
yet,
the truth hurts, my friend.
Right. And yet, it became something comforting to you in time. Now, if I just said, oh no, it's okay. No, like, what about this? And like, just, slowly tap dance. This is what I believe a lot of therapy does, is like tap dance around things so we don't upset each other. But the reality is being honest and being true to myself. I'm able to communicate in a way that is comforting, even if it doesn't sound comforting from the outside, from the rules of society. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and what keeps going through my head, and I'm sorry for the vulgarity, is just fucking say it, man.
Right.
Don't beat around the bush, just fucking say it,
Absolutely.
Speak the truth. And I found out not too long ago, I think I shared that with you, is that something that's hard, or has been hard for me in the past, is speaking the truth because of the fear of repercussions, Right.
And, letting people down, or like, all of those things, like the chaos that you had in your life when you had to be a certain way. You had to say a certain thing. Like everything was structured in a way that was against you. And so you had to,
walk
do
on
things.
Eggshells.
Yeah. And, it says like connected to source, there is no desire to prove. Desire to prove only exposes separation to source. Desire to prove that you're a good kid. Desire to prove that you're good at your job. Desire to prove any of those things, right? Once you have a desire to prove, that only exposes your feelings of inadequacy.
That is so true, because like I said, when I let that fear go away yesterday and I just did what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
was so freeing.
Absolutely.
And so today, when I have to go listen to the principal speak her truth about what she saw, I'm just going to go at it from, like we said, it's going to help me.
Sure.
What she's saying is there to help me to do a better job. And not that, I need to do better for the kids, because just like you want to help people, I want to help the kiddos. And so
right. Well, I never said I wanted to help people. I don't know where you're getting that, but okay.
No, you did. When you were talking to Mark, you said something about, or no, maybe it was Laura. You said something about helping others. Oh, it was when you were talking about purpose.
It happens. It happens to happen. Yeah, I do. That happens. But I don't. I don't wake up in the morning going, I'm going to go help people.
But you do help people with your wisdom and with the Tao. I think you're very helpful.
I think people are people find it helpful, and I'm good. And I'm grateful. I'm just playing. But you're gonna be great today. And like what she is saying, what the principal is going to tell you, is for you. And remember, what she's saying and what you're hearing have nothing to do with one another.
That's the tough part. What people say and what I hear don't line up. That's like quite a conundrum, Martin John.
Right. It is very difficult because she's saying it from a completely different perspective.
Because she's not me, and the way she looks at things are totally different from the way that I look at things, and she's never going to be me, and I'm never going to be her. So we got to kind of meet somewhere in the middle. Is that kind of how it goes? Right.
Well, no. You take what you hear. She says what she says. You take what you hear, and you do with it what you are inspired to do with it. That's yours. There's no meeting in the middle. There is no middle.
Just take what I like and leave the rest, right?
Well, your life is a gift received from Tao, and she is being sustained as part of that gift. Her life is a gift received from Tao, and you are being sustained as a part of that gift. Without you, she cannot do her job. Without her, you cannot do yours.
So it's like interdependence, huh?
It's the male and the female and the yin and the yang and the whole, now you don't look at her as something that is purely outside of you. This is part of you. This experience that you're having is going to be part of you, and you get to observe it. And just like while you're in that office, allow yourself to be present with her. But there is also, you're going to notice that there is also someone observing you in that position. You are going to be utilizing different parts of your brain to process, and at the same time, you're going to see yourself processing it. And as you do that, you go far out. Look at what's happening now. This is my life, right? And you can, that'll be happening in the subtle regions while you're listening and engaging with her. And then you get to be like, oh, how am I? What am I feeling? Oh, am I feeling hard done by? Am I feeling criticized? Am I feeling supported? Interesting. Far out.
I like it. We just sit back and observe her observations of me, and just remember, life is simple, and I don't need to make it hard, because that's something that I've struggled with, but I'm trying not to. So I'm going to try to let life be simple, because it is when I let it be.
That's right. It's not as hard as you make it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for being the amazing Martin John that you always are. I hope you have a wonderful day. How are things going with the mosaic? Is everything going well?
Everything's going well. The lead artist is going to be stepping away after this week, and it's just going to be me and the other assistant, and we'll my sky and train is just about done, and then I'll be just doing the ground, and then it'll be done. So maybe another week and a half. We'll see. We'll see how fast we can get it all done. We're doing big sections, so it should be pretty. It should be pretty quick. We should have it done well before Christmas, but we'll see. I mean, at that point, it has to get packaged and stuff, and that's a whole nother job. That'll be a whole nother week of work, but that'll be because we gotta cut it up and register it and make sure it's all prepared and packed properly. It's a big ordeal.
Wow, so that's crazy. So after you put all the pieces together, you have to cut it apart again?
Yeah, this is how you transport millions of tiles and make sure that they don't move, right? You have to cut it into 1 foot square chunks,
No, that totally makes sense because I was in the DR once and I got my mother, she loves dragonflies, and it was sort of a mosaic with little pieces of glass and tile and things like that. And it was so hard to bring it back.
You just dropped off, and a little piece probably fell off. Yeah, and it's an ordeal, and there's a lot of process that has to happen in order to get this to travel, because it's 9 foot by 17 foot. It's no slouch. Susan, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm great today, Martin John. I'm
good.
Well, I just wanted to tell you, I don't know if I know how to verbalize this, but you have opened up so much for me. You've opened up, you've shown me a whole new world. I look at everything that's happened, and I can see the progression of why it happened, why I was in a certain place at a certain time, why a terrible thing happened to me. And, I thought I was going to die, and I got over it, and how much I learned from that and propelled me forward. Martin John, you've just opened, I could just ruminate on my life and keep seeing all these connections of what's just like when I was working, I work at the Seas Candy Wagon, which is a nonprofit thing for the food bank here in Sedona. Okay. And we've got a lot of homeless people here in Sedona because the weather is pretty nice and they can camp out in the woods outside of Sedona, et cetera, et cetera. And then they come in and everybody panhandles, and there's always somebody at the corner. Yeah. So one ragged guy that was at the corner of where I was doing the Seas Candy bit. And I saw him and I thought, geez, I wonder what that poor guy thinks. And so on my way out, I took him a Seas sucker, and I handed him on the way out, and he looked at me, tears in his eyes, and said, I used to work for Seas, and I was just hoping I could get something, but I knew I couldn't. I thought, oh, shit. There goes the tears. I was just like, I wanted to hug him, but he was so filthy. I was kind of, I couldn't. Okay. It just, gave him a high five.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so and just to be able to recognize oh, I couldn't do that. Then it's okay. And give him a high five. Do what you can. And that opens you up to new potential and new possibilities as you continue to observe.
So, well, I'll be looking for him when I've got 10 more stints that I'm volunteering on before Christmas, and I'll be looking for him to give him a little beautiful sucker.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's beautiful.
So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that, holy cow, there's a whole new world that I haven't even seen that's opening up to me. And I want to thank you because it just gives me such joy inside to know that.
Life is really beautiful and
it's amazing.
It's and to be able, what you're talking about, I looking back and being oh my God, all of this fits. This makes so much sense. And when we get to that place, where it's just like, oh my God, life is so beautiful.
Amazing.
Because I would have never been who I was had I not gone through the things that I had to go through, and the 13 years like locked in addiction and all of the stuff that I experienced. It's like, well, I needed that so profoundly. And,
I did.
And it was such an important part of me. And yet while I was in it, I couldn't see the forest through the trees. But now I look back and I see it all. And so anytime, and this is like that verse that says, because life is not without its problems, problems turn out to be no problem at all. It's like, oh, that's what that means, right? Like now that I can look back and see things. And I remember 10 years ago when I was bedridden because of my MS, I had to remind myself, if everything made sense getting to here, then everything's going to make sense here. But I'm not going to be able to make sense out of it until I'm somewhere else.
Correct.
And so just be here. Be here. And, we were looking at, like a couple verses that talk about trust yourself, not the manifestation. Like, and I had to turn to those words and be like, look, the manifestation says I can't walk, I can't use my left side, I can't, I can't do these things. That's just the manifestation. That has nothing to do with me.
Right.
And so what am I being drawn to? What am I being, what am I keeping myself from opening up to? What do I need to do? Where in my life is there resistance? Because when I can find that resistance, I can release it. And then I can be open to something that maybe I never wanted to be open to. But then once I can be open to it, I know I'm just getting to know myself even better.
Wow. What can I say, Martin John? I just love you.
I love you too. You want to pick a number?
Okay, I want number 9.
Number 9. Number 9.
Number 9. That's in my head today.
Okay. The danger of extremes.
Mm-hmm.
And, we were just talking about proving. Proving yourself in that last number 81. Having to prove yourself will, expose the separation from source. And this one starts with proving. Having to prove yourself will allow challenges to best you. Focus your attention on money and lose sight of what is valuable. Keep in mind outside influence and you will be its prisoner. Do what you do and move on. It isn't yours anyway. You talk about that guy with the ragged guy that you ran into with the sucker.
Yeah.
You're not doing that to be seen.
No.
You're not doing that to...
I actually didn't want to be seen because I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah. You're not doing it to prove to him anything either. You're just doing it because you're inspired to.
Right.
And when we try and prove ourselves, right? Like when you try and make your house perfect for your family, you're trying to prove that you can do that.
Yeah.
And what this says is having to prove yourself will allow challenges to best you. The challenge being, you got to have the best house in the block.
And it never can be perfect.
Right. And so something is going to go wrong and that challenge will best you. So you just let it be what it is.
Right.
And it says here, a couple things about, focus your attention on money and lose sight of what is valuable. What's valuable. And then focus your money on a clean house and lose sight of what is valuable. Your value is the fact that your family's coming and they love you.
Exactly.
Focus on that. Don't focus on the clean house. Keep your mind on outside influence, what you think other people are going to think, and you will be its prisoner.
So true. I've been a prisoner a lot in my life. a lot. But, you can't see that happening for a reason when
Yeah.
you're in the middle of it.
Right.
It's just so hard to see the forest for the trees.
Yeah. And that's why I say just recognize that you don't like that you do something and do it anyway. But once you recognize that you don't like that you do it, you also need to recognize that, well, you're going to do it until you don't.
Correct.
And so at some point, you're not going to do it. And that's when you're ready. And then you're going to be moving forward. It all works. And that's what this says. And at the end of this, it just says, do what you do and move on. It isn't yours anyway. It's not for you to sit there and say, like earlier when you're like, I wish I had this earlier. Or Laura said that, I think. I wish I had learned this earlier. And no, It's like, it's not about you learning it. It's about you being ready for it now.
So true. Like, when I first saw you, when I first joined this program, and I tuned into you, I thought, oh no, it's just another psychic, blah blah blah. And I didn't plug into you for a while because I had a preconceived notion about what you were. But the first time that I plugged into you is when I jumped online the first time, and I came on the stage.
Right.
And everything's opened up since then. I'm sure not everything is opened up, but everything is opening up.
Oh, right. You have to open the first door to open the next. But that's the, and I'm not a psychic. all I do is you pick a number, I read this thing, and then I just connect it to what you're doing and what you're not.
But that was my preconceived notion. I thought, baloney, I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, but look, I ended up here in Sedona, the most beautiful place in the world. I am at such peace. I don't have any tension in other than trying to get my house clean.
Yeah,
You got me on that one, Martin John. But I just wanted to let you know I really appreciate you, and I'm enjoying everything.
I'm so glad. I love you.
How's your wisdom tooth?
That's wow. It's not giving me any trouble. It's interesting. I've been, I think there's some healing going on in my mouth, because things are sensitive. But I've been doing things that, have just, and I think, sometimes when you heal, like when we talk to Melissa, like she's going through a lot. And I think that there's a lot of healing going on, like when you face that and you kind of, you get brought to tears, you get brought to pain. So as you grow through that pain, because you do have to, we've talked about it in your career. You've been a prisoner for a long time, and you've become comfortable with being a prisoner. And then when you recognize it and you start to double back, it's not like it, if you ever known somebody that's been in prison for a long time, they pause before they go through a door. It's just a thing that happens because they've done it for so long.
Really?
They'll just take a little pause before reminding themselves that they don't need somebody else to open the door for them.
Wow.
And there are these little things that
the conditioning.
People, the conditioning. And it's like, you might not even notice it, but it's just a little pause because it's like, it's just in them. It's in their system, and it's so physical, Mm-hmm. And when you're a prisoner, you get used to being a prisoner and and what
it was
that
my norm.
is doing.
It was my norm.
Yeah.
That was my normal. I didn't know anything else at that time.
And then when you recognize that you were such a participant in your own torture in one way or another.
Exactly.
Right? And then you're like, oh my God, now I want to treat myself better. And then when you see somebody on the street and you give them a sucker and a high five, like you're making amends.
I have a lot to make amends for.
But you don't go out and do it with the purpose of making amends.
No, absolutely
You live
not.
your life. And as you live your life, you look back and you say, I'm proud of who I am.
Yeah. I am.
Yeah.
I've come a long way, baby.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Martin John, you have a great day.
You
I
too,
will talk
sweetie.
to you soon.
I'm looking forward to it. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. I'm going to be locking us down. It's Thursday. I'm hoping I can get on the phone with a buddy of mine I usually chat with on Thursdays. Last week was Thanksgiving, so we missed it, but I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Laura, Mark, Melissa, and Susan, for all that you brought to today. Mark, good luck with all your travels. We'll be in touch. We're talking on the 17th, which I think is Tuesday next week. Or not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, the Tuesday following. Looking forward to that. And, yeah, everybody's just following their instincts. You know, we look at Laura. She's helping her gym out by getting decorations. Melissa, she's going to sit down and, you know, engage with her principal. Susan, engaging, you know, handing out suckers. It's so beautiful. I'm so grateful to be a part of this and to be sharing all of this with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Martin John, and until next time, keep recovering yourself.